There are places on this planet where the air tastes different, where the ground beneath your feet obeys different rules, where the sky bends in ways that make you forget which world you're standing on. We grow up thinking we know Earth. We see it in pictures, on maps, in documentaries that explain everything with clean narration and tidy facts. But there are corners of this world that refuse to make sense. Places that look like they were borrowed from another universe and quietly placed here, waiting for someone to notice. These are not fantasies. They are not digital creations or distant exoplanets captured by telescopes. They are here, right now, on the same ground you walk every day. And they don't feel like home. Number 1. Dansha Landformers, China. Imagine standing in a desert where the sand glows in waves of red, orange, and gold. Not from the sun, but from the earth itself. The Dansha Mountains in China rise like frozen flames, their layers striped with color, as if someone painted the cliffs while the world was still being formed. The stone ripples in shades of rust and amber, carving valleys that look sculpted by something other than wind and time. There's no sound here except your breath. The silence is thick, almost solid. You walk forward, and the landscape shifts. One ridge reveals another, each more surreal than the last. The colors shouldn't exist together. The shapes shouldn't hold, but they do. It feels like walking inside a painting that forgot it wasn't real. Number 2. White Desert, Egypt. Now the ground turns white. Not snow, not salt, exactly. Something harder, stranger. The white desert of Egypt stretches endlessly, dotted with chalk formations that rise like sculptures in a gallery no one built. Some look like mushrooms, others like sphinxes or melting towers or creatures frozen mid-step. The wind carved them over millennia, but it feels more deliberate than that, more intentional. You touch one, and the surface is cool, smooth, ancient. At night, under a sky crowded with stars, the formations glow pale blue under the moonlight. You could convince yourself you're standing on another moon, one where someone left monuments behind and never came back. Number 3. Mount Roraima, Venezuela. There's a mountain that floats, not literally, but when the clouds settle low, Mount Roraima rises above them like an island in the sky, flat-topped, sheer-sided, impossibly massive. The summit is a plateau where waterfalls spill into the mist below, disappearing into nothingness. The rocks up there are black and ancient, older than almost anything else on the surface of the earth. Strange plants grow in cracks, species that exist nowhere else. Isolated for so long they evolved into something new. The air is thin. The silence is absolute. Standing at the edge, looking down into the clouds, you feel untethered, like gravity might forget you, like the world below is a dream you're not sure you'll return to. Number 4. Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil. In Brazil, there's a desert made of water. Lençóis Maranhenses looks impossible even in photographs. Endless white sand dunes stretching to the horizon, but between them, pools of crystal clear water, blue, green, turquoise. Lagoons that shouldn't exist in a desert, fed by rain that collects in the valleys between dunes. You walk barefoot across the sand, and it's warm. Then you step into one of the pools, and it's cool, clean, bottomless feeling. The water reflects the sky perfectly, and for a moment, you can't tell which way is up. It feels like a glitch, like the planet forgot which biome it was supposed to be. Number 5. Fly Geyser, Nevada, USA. there's a geyser that looks like it erupted from a fever dream. Fly Geyser in Nevada wasn't made by nature alone. Humans drilled into the earth decades ago, and when they left, the water found its own way out. Now it sprays continuously, building terraces of mineral deposits in shades of red, green, and gold. The mound rises in uneven tiers, almost organic, like a coral reef growing in the middle of the desert. Steam hisses from vents. Algae thrive in the hot water, painting the stone in colors that shift depending on the season. It looks alive, not like a geological feature, but like something breathing, growing, aware. Number 6. Chocolate Hills, Philippines. In the Philippines, thousands of hills rise from the earth in perfect, rounded shapes. The Chocolate Hills stretch as far as you can see, symmetrical, uniform, covered in grass that turns brown in the dry season. The name makes them sound whimsical, but standing among them feels different. There's something uncanny about their consistency, like they were placed by hand, arranged with purpose. The wind moves over them in patterns, and the shadows shift, and you start to see faces in the slopes, or pathways, or symbols you can't quite read. It's the kind of place that makes you feel watched, even though you're alone. Number 7. Pamukkale, Turkey. In Turkey, there's a hillside that looks like it's melting. Pamukkale, meaning cotton castle, is a cascade of white terraces filled with thermal water spilling down the slope in frozen waves. The stone is bright, almost blinding in the sunlight, and the pools reflect the sky in shades of pale blue. You can walk through the terraces, your feet sinking into warm water, the mineral deposits smooth and strange beneath you. It feels ancient and fragile at the same time, like you're stepping through a ruin that never had walls. The Romans bathed here. Civilizations rose and fell around it. But the water keeps flowing, carving new terraces, forgetting nothing. Number 8. Valle de la Luna, Chile. The Valley of the Moon in Chile earns its name. The Atacama Desert is already one of the driest places on Earth, but this valley feels drier still, like all moisture was drawn out millennia ago and never returned. The ground is cracked, pale, ridged with salt formations that look like frozen waves. At sunset, the valley turns gold, then red, then purple. The colors move across the stone like breath. There's no vegetation, no animals, just wind, dust, and the distant silhouette of volcanoes that might be active or might be dead. It's hard to tell. Standing there, you could believe you're the last person alive, or the first. Number 9. Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Off the coast of Northern Ireland, the earth built a staircase into the sea. The Giant's Causeway is made of thousands of hexagonal basalt columns, interlocking perfectly, stretching from the cliffs down into the water. They look man-made, geometric, too precise, but they were formed by volcanic eruptions, lava cooling and cracking into these strange, uniform shapes. You can walk across them, stepping from column to column, the ocean crashing beside you. Some rise taller than your head, others disappear beneath the waves. It feels like ruins, like something was built here and abandoned before it was finished. Number 10. Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon, Iceland. In Iceland, there's a glacier lagoon where icebergs drift like sculptures. Jökulsárlón is fed by a melting glacier, and the chunks of ice that break free float silently through the dark water, glowing blue and white. Some are the size of cars, others the size of houses. They move without sound, turning slowly, catching the light. On the black sand beach nearby, smaller pieces wash ashore and sit gleaming like jewels. The contrast is startling. Black sand, white ice, blue sky. It feels temporary, like the whole scene could vanish while you're watching, and you'd never be able to prove it existed. Number 10. Darvaza Gas Crater, Turkmenistan. In Turkmenistan, there's a crater that's been burning for decades. The door to hell, they call it, a natural gas field that collapsed into a cavern, and to prevent the spread of methane, it was set on fire. That was over 50 years ago. It's still burning. At night, the crater glows orange, flames licking up from the depths, heat radiating outward. You can stand at the edge and feel it on your skin, hear the roar of fire deep below. The ground around it is barren, scorched. It looks like a gateway, like something that shouldn't be open. These places exist. You can visit them. You can stand where the earth defies its own rules and makes you question what you thought was possible. But knowing they're real doesn't make them feel less strange. If anything, it deepens the mystery, because if these places exist on a planet we've mapped and studied and lived on for thousands of years, what else have we missed? What else is hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right light, the right moment, the right silence? Maybe Earth was never the familiar place we pretended it was. Maybe it was always a stranger, wearing a mask we chose to believe. And maybe, just maybe, we're still standing on the surface of a world we've barely begun to understand.